here. This is my technical difficulties look. Now I can't see the screen. Wait, yeah, okay, we're good, we're live, woo! Yay! Oh my gosh, I'm so fired up today, and I'm not actually very surprised that we had technical difficulties because my energy is like right now. Ooh, am I ever feeling it being back officially? And the kids not being here, being back at school, it's definitely, I'm starting, started today off like with my hair on fire, but in a good way. Not in like a Muppet on fire, but kind of like I'm just, my ass is on fire. Hello, Shannon. Good to see you here. Oh God, I'm excited about today. I see that you're catching up on the weekend stuff. I think a lot of people were. Not a single one of you joined me on either of the weekend lives. That's okay. Not offended. Kind of, sort of, a little sad that I was all by myself on the weekends, but it's okay. I get it. 12:30 on the weekend, clearly not a good time for any of you. So let me know what would be a better time on the weekends for me to go live, because we've got 2 more weekends. I think, yeah, we have 2 more weekends in this program. So I don't want to go through too many days where nobody shows up on my live, even though there's not a ton of people that seem to be joining us in the group. There are more people signed up for the program, but they just haven't joined the Facebook group yet. So I don't know, I'm sending them the videos after the fact, but I guess they just don't do Facebook. I'm not sure how they even heard about the program. They don't do Facebook. Who knows? Anyway, that is that. Everybody makes their own choices, and I am here for you because you're here with me. Yay. Okay. Let me calm down for a second. Okay. Well, where is everybody? Heavens. Okay. Well, Shannon, you are here, friend. I feel like we met on a webinar where you were the only comment that I could see coming through too. Even though there were other people on the webinar, your comments were the only ones that came through. Divine. That's what that is. Anyhow, today's topic is all about unleashing. Unleashing yourself, unleashing everything, all the things that no longer serve you, just like letting it all hang out. But more importantly, Anna, hello. Hello. Welcome. Yes, we're getting ready to unleash the power that is all bottled up inside of us and hiding underneath all of our crazy stories that we've chosen to believe for the last many years and decades. So that's what today's about, and it's I was just telling Shannon, my energy is like next level today. So much. Feel free. I know you said that you weren't going to be able to actually really dive into this program until today, so feel free to binge watch the first 5 days after today's live. There's some kind of sequencing in the programming, but really you can pick and choose, and you'll be fine today. You're not missing out on anything except for just different messages, but you can catch up. No big deal. Today we're cranking it up like way up compared to the last 5 days of the program. The last 5 days have been pretty like zen and soul connected. Today this is a bit more in line with the energy that you will see from me in bliss. This is what you'll get from me more often than not. So here we go. Let's dive in. I am so excited to see what happens when everybody in this group unleashes, because it's so it's just so stinking powerful. So here we go. You all have goals for this year, and they're probably very similar to the goals that you may have had last year or the year before. So drop in the comments before we dive in. Drop in the comments, what is your big goal for this year? or your big vision for life, or your vision for your company, if you've got one right now, whatever comes to mind first. Like, what is on your heart? What's driving you? What are you really trying to manifest if you do that kind of work? What's the thing that you're trying to make happen currently in your life? I don't care if you're trying to make it happen this year or in life. Don't put a timeline on it. Put a timeline. Don't care. Just let me know what you're thinking and where your intentions are sitting. I'll scroll the comments here. My intention, my goals, my vision, my mission in life is, so I always frame up my statement, my goal statement, as if I already have it, because I just want to program my brain that way. So I inspire and lead hundreds of thousands of people. To have it written on the board right there, so I repeat it multiple times a day. I inspire and lead hundreds of thousands of people to discover and believe in the biggest versions of their lives, and I empower them to create the life they are excited to live. You've probably heard me say versions of that many times before if you've been following for a while, but that is what bounces me out of bed in the morning. It's what gets me going. It's what picks me up when I'm feeling down. It's what I know deep in my heart I'm called to do. So you're going to get there. You'll have your own little statement if you don't have one now, if you're struggling with it, but drop in what it is that you want to achieve. It can be, I want to launch an online program. It can be, I want to write a book. It can be, I want a full thriving practice. It can be whatever you want it to be. Just try framing it up as if you already have it when you write it down. And I want to see them. I want to see them. You are a successful accessories designer, Shannon. And Anna, you have a steady channel, a steady sales channel to get your clients, especially for in-person clients, I'm guessing, or in-person one-on-one sessions. Perfect. Okay. So frame them up in your mind and on sticky notes and on your bulletin boards and whatever is like right in front of your face all the time, all day. Frame it up as if you already have it, and repeat it and say it out loud as if you already have it. And then you'll start to get comfortable in it, and you'll have less resistance as you're getting closer and closer to achieving it. So start telling your brain now that you've got it already, and your brain will start to expect it. And you'll start to behave as if you already have it, and then you'll have it. That easy. There, bing, bang, boom. Strategy done. Don't even need to do bliss now. I'm kidding. Carry on. Keep going. Okay, so what, so if that is your goal, those are your goals. Was it your goal last year? Or was your goal last year somewhat similar? Question mark. Feel free to answer, but I'm going to keep right on going. Actually, give me an answer. I'm going to wait for your answer. So there. Give me your answer in the comments. Assuming that your goal last year was somewhat similar, then my question is, what kept you stuck, or what got in your way? It's not a trick question. I have had this goal for a while, and I haven't achieved it. Hundreds of thousands of people, I have not achieved that part of it. Yet I've achieved the rest of it, I do, but not to the same scale that I want to do it. So what has kept you stuck? What has kept me stuck? What's the thing that's kept us stuck? So let me know. Yes, sort of, Anna. That's okay. Yourself has kept you stuck, and personal stuff has kept you stuck. Yeah, life gets in the way all the time, doesn't it? Damn it. Well, we'll fix that in Bliss for sure. We make your business strategy life proof by incorporating life into it, is the reality. But anyhow, so we'll cover that one off, how life gets in the way. But also, we all have our own stories. We all have our own crap. We've got, our health issues. We've got, stuff that just prevents us from being the people we need to be in order to have the life we know we're called to have. A lot of the stuff that we allow to get in our way or to trip us up is a choice. And it's not to say that it isn't happening. It's totally and 100% happening, but we are really choosing to let that story, reason, excuse, whatever you want to call it, become gospel, and you're letting the story and that particular version of the truth be your version of the truth. You can change it anytime. Anna, you do tapping and EFT tapping. Shannon, if you don't know what it is, reach out to Anna after, and she'll explain what that is, because it's an incredible tool. But the scripts often go like, even though I'm feeling this way, I'm still a good person. Even though I'm feeling really bad about myself, I'm still a good person. Anna, totally. I mean, you've got way better scripting than that, and there's a whole sequence that goes into it. But the premise is the same, that you kind of acknowledge how you're feeling. You acknowledge that this thing may have been true in the past, or that you have allowed yourself to believe this story of yourself in the past. And we're going to dive into stories tomorrow and reframing stories tomorrow and why we have those stories. There's there's a real reason why we have built up these stories in our life, because it helps to define who we are and who we are in the environment that we've grown up in, like within our family. It helps us to establish our positioning and our role in the tribe and in the community. So if you go way back to, caveman days, well, somebody's given a role, and that's their role, and they become defined by the thing that they do. We've been doing it forever and ever and ever, amen. And these stories help to define and explain and give purpose to who we are and how we see ourselves. But we can reverse engineer that at any time that we choose. So if you've always been the person that got walked all over and taken advantage of, then you start to believe like, I'm the person that gets walked all over and taken advantage of. But you can just as easily choose to believe, I'm not that person. I am not the person that gets walked all over and taken advantage of. I stand my ground. I have firm boundaries. I respect myself and those around me. And doing that makes me a better mom, a better provider, a better whatever. You are able to then rise and become the best version of yourself when you don't get pushed around and taken advantage of. So you can decide to change all the stories that you currently have running in your life, every single storyline. So the first assignment for today is to write down all of the things that are keeping you stuck. There's a story in there that's all about like, who the hell am I? Why the hell would anybody believe me if I was to go and do that? Like, who the hell, what gives me the right to go and tell people to have the best life that they could ever have, and to like empower them to go and build this amazing life that they could ever have when I haven't even built mine yet? Like, I love my life. I love where I live and my house and all the things, but I'm not where I want to be. I'm not there yet. So, who the hell am I to try and encourage other people to do it? Well, I'm me, and I'm passionate, and I know this is what I'm called to do. So that's why. Next. What's next? You're listening to me, and if I'm empowering you, then high five. Done. My job here is done. But what are all the things that are keeping you stuck? You don't have enough money to scale as big as you want to go. You don't have the credentials or the certification or the education that other people in your field have. You don't know where to start. You don't have the support of family or husband or whatever. Your kids are really small and demanding. Or there's people in your family that you are the caregiver of that have major physical or mental health issues. There's all kinds of things that we allow to become limitations on our life and on how big we can grow. They build kind of the tank. The whole saying about a shark will only grow as big as the tank. So if you buy a shark and you put him in like a 3-foot tank, he's going to grow to 2 feet big. Like, he's not going to get to 10 feet if he doesn't have enough room to grow. So we all build up the tank, the container that we live in, and we cannot outgrow it until we make the tank bigger. Or we like remove a wall, give ourselves a skylight, and we grow up. Like, we can't outgrow the box that we've put on ourselves, and we're the ones that put that box together. Like, that's us. So we can move the box at any time. We can make it bigger or smaller, but I don't suggest that. We make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, all we want. And it might be uncomfortable, like when you buy a new pair of shoes, you got to work them in. But that's okay. You'll get used to your bigger box. You'll get used to the next level, to leveling up, all the analogies, like you get used to it. But currently, what are the boundaries of your box? What are the limits that you stay contained within? Make a list of all those things, whether they're stories or whether they're truths in your life. Just make a whole list of them. It could be, you really have a desire to be a salesperson, but you don't have a driver's license and you don't have a car and you don't have the money to buy a car or get your license. So it's hard to be a salesperson when you can't get out, you can't do the thing, whatever. So that's like a story. It's based in logistics. But does that mean that you can't desire to be a salesperson? Nope, it doesn't. It just means that for right now, you would have to be a salesperson that doesn't need a car. So inside sales or whatever. And then it doesn't mean that you can never have a car. It just means right now you don't have one yet. But it's not the defining story of your whole life. Like, it's just a logistic that can be removed easily or solved easily. You can carpool. You can, there's so many ways. There's buses. You can figure it out. There's so many ways to get around stuff. But we have to give ourselves permission. So I am now giving you permission for all the things that you write down on that stuck list, that we will work together to find a solution, or to remove it altogether. I promise you. You do have to do the work and share it with me so I know what we're doing. But your stuck list, that's our goal through the next 20 days or the rest of this program, and through Bliss if you're doing that with us. That's the goal, is we're going to remove all of those things, because the next thing that you're going to do today, number 2, is what would you do if you were unleashed, if you had no limitations? What would you do? If all the things that you wrote down in step number 1 that were keeping you stuck or have kept you stuck in the past, what will you do when those are no longer an element of your life? When they're not a consideration anymore? Then what? This scares the ever-loving poop out of a lot of people. It excites me to no end, but a lot of people are like, "Ooh," it's like cresting the top of a roller coaster, is how they feel when I say that, because those limits and the things that have kept you stuck and kept you from growing up until now have also kept you feeling very, very safe. You're very familiar with the box that you've been living in and the tank that you've been living in. You know every square inch of it. There are no surprises in there at all. As soon as you move the walls out a little bit wider, all of a sudden you've got all this space. And what are you going to do with all that space? It's a little bit scary. Or what new things could pop in and fill up the space? Who knows? Oh no. The unknown is very scary. It's okay. You're going to get used to it. You're going to master the tank at that size in no time flat. And then you're going to want to move the walls out again and make it even bigger again. And that's amazing. That's what you're supposed to do. We're supposed to elevate ourselves and level up. We're supposed to strive to get better, to grow, to become the biggest and best versions of ourselves. And we will never do that. We won't even know what the best version of ourselves is until we outgrow the box, until we get the hell out of the box. We won't. We won't. That vision of the biggest, best version of myself that I have is probably not even scratching the surface of what I'm actually capable of. And I believe the same to be true for you guys. I've just been doing this a little bit longer, so my vision is a little bit bigger, like hundreds of thousands of people. But maybe it's global. Maybe I'll magically be able to learn all the languages in the world, but actually I don't even need to, because there's apps for that, where I could empower people all across the world. That would be so awesome if every single person in the world were empowered to create and live the best life that they could possibly live. So good, right? So awesome. But what would you do if you didn't have the limitations that you believe you've got? For me, I would write a book, launch a podcast. I'd have a whole huge, massive team supporting me. I would do live events. I would get myself the mentor that I have been coveting and wanting to work with. I would lock myself in so tight. I would travel. I would keep learning and learning and learning and learning. And I would invest in social impact projects. That is my ultimate dream. I want to launch social impact companies, especially women-driven ones that impact the world. I want to have a huge impact. And if I didn't still believe, because I still have stories that I tell myself, and I catch myself on them, but I still have them. And I get rid of one and I'm like, oh, look at you. There's a new one right there. Okay, let's get rid of that one. So I'll call myself on it and I'll move through it and past it anyway, but it's still there. So the whole idea of not being good enough or not having enough to be able to move to the next level, that is so embedded in my head. It's from, maybe it's the Irish Catholic peasant, DNA, but there's this element of do the best you can with what you've got, and that's as good as you're going to get. And that's it. That's the end of the story. That's just the DNA that I don't choose to believe anymore. I know I am destined for far greater than that. And yet still, that story, every time I level up, every time I bite off a big, huge piece of that pie, I hear the story in my head of oh, really? As if you're going to be able to do this. And I'm like, gosh, shut up. Who said that? That is ridiculous. That's what a silly story for me to even say to myself, because I don't believe that that's true, but yet the script is still running in my head. So it is a conscious effort until it becomes ingrained and embedded in your head until it's not anymore. And then the script is well, of course you can do that and more. So now I re-script it and re-script it and re-script it until finally that storyline is running and I don't need to deal with it anymore because it's running the way I want it to. So that's just being super aware. Step one is going to make you aware of what that storyline is that you're choosing to believe and what the script is that's running. And then the second part of it is, what are you going to replace the script with? I have a podcast, I have a book, and that's what's going to help me impact the hundreds of thousands of people. So if I choose to believe, who the hell am I to impact all these people, or how the hell is that going to be possible? I could choose to believe that, and I could stay exactly stuck where I am right now for another year. Or I can just choose to believe in the visions that I have for myself and what would I do when I don't have any limitations. The podcast, the book, the full team, the live events, all of that will get me in front of hundreds of thousands of people, and it will make my vision come true. So why the hell would I choose to believe in all of these limiting belief stories because they make me feel safe, when I already know what I would do if I was not contained by all of these stories? If I wasn't limited, I know what I would do. And I know that those things that I would do if I were unleashed will give me the results that I want. So what the hell am I doing believing these stupid stories for, right? You need to talk to yourself like this. You need to write it out on a board in front of you. You need to be you need to do this because it's going to bring you to this vision and this goal and this end game. And halfway to the end game, you're going to change the end game. You're going to make it even bigger. And then you're going to have to go through the process again. That's okay, because you're going to know how to do it. It'll be way easier the second time around. And that brings you to the third thing, that is, what would you be willing to do if having it all was guaranteed? If having it all, achieving your wildest dreams, living the life that you really are excited and passionate and inspired to live, that you're thriving, your family is thriving, everybody you know is thriving, everyone that comes into contact with you radiates and emanates joy and motivation and empowerment and inspiration. What the heck would you be willing to do if I could tell you, I've got a magic wand, I'll wave it, and guarantee that the results will happen? Is there anything that you wouldn't do? Anything illegal, I guess, would qualify. I wouldn't do anything illegal. I wouldn't hurt or harm anybody. But short of that, probably wouldn't do, there's nothing that would stand in my way. There was absolutely nothing. I would make time. If my excuse has always been, there's not enough time in the day, I would find the time. If you told me you need to find 6 hours extra a day for the next month, and I will guarantee you the results, I would find 12 hours a day for the next month. Guaranteed. Anyone would, right? You would, anybody would. Would either of you not find the time or make the time? If getting help was investing in like hiring somebody, an assistant or something like that, was the one thing that you needed to do for 1 month, and if you did that, I would guarantee the results, would you figure it out? Would you find a way to invest and hire somebody for a month or for however long if the results were guaranteed? Would you? Let me see the yeses. Like, hell freaking yes. You would do it. If it was guaranteed, you would do it. You would invest in yourself. You would do programs. You would learn stuff. You would invest in whatever. I mean, you're already investing in doing the Bliss program. You know this to be true. You're willing to make certain sacrifices and compromises to make this shit happen, but then you stop yourself. Because now I'm going to say, now you need to make time, you need to get help, you need to invest in yourself, you need to say no and set really, really strong boundaries. You need to be willing to look silly and fall flat on your face and fail. You need to be willing to fail multiple times. You need to be willing to face every single fear that you've got. You need to be willing to fail while facing your fears and then try again. And you need to be willing to do this all again and again and again until. But if you keep doing it and you keep trying, and then I guarantee you're going to get the results. I guaranteed it. It's going to happen. Maybe I've extended the timeline to 3 months to let you do all those things, to try and fail and try and fail and try and fail. But I'm going to wave my wand. I'm going to give it to you for sure. I'm the genie in the bottle. I just have a timeline and a criteria list. You have to do all these things. Would you be willing to do it? I want to see in the comments your words. Yes. Yes, I will do whatever it takes to get the results. Because here's the thing. I don't need to wave my wand to guarantee it for you. I don't. If you are in alignment with what feels good in your soul, what feels good for you to focus on and strive toward, if that is in alignment, and that's the first thing we do in the Bliss program, and it's what we've been doing for the last 5 days, and it's what we're going to keep doing, and I'm going to keep reminding you until the end of time and you stop talking to me. If you're in alignment and you step out every day and you cultivate somehow the feelings that you will feel when you have it all, when you have everything that you want, when you're living the life that you're called to live, if you can connect with that feeling every single day, I promise you, the universe is going to say she's ready. She is ready to have the life that she's called to have. And the opportunities will be presented to you. You will feel ready and excited and energized to take advantage of the opportunities. You won't be afraid of anything that comes your way because you already have it. You're already there in your heart and your soul and your body and every single fiber of your being. You are already there because you're connecting with the feeling of that dream, of that vision. It's no longer just a pie in the sky, a poster on the wall. It's in your heart. It's in every ounce of your body. You feel it every day, and you actively cultivate that feeling every single day. The feeling of winning, the feeling of success, the feeling of crossing the finish line, the feeling of whatever it is you're striving to do. If you can feel it in your heart, the feeling of empowering people, the feeling of helping people, feeling of really seeing somebody's light turn on, and you know their life has just been activated, if that's what you want, have that feeling in your heart every single day. And the universe will be like, girl, You are ready. This is yours. It is all for you. Everything. Or you could choose to believe the stories and stay in your tank. Who's got their hands up for living in the tank? No, ocean for me, baby. Told you I was fired up today. Holy Hannah! Woo! So, what is the thing that you're afraid of doing the most? Like, what would you be willing to do? What, like, no. Some people, like, I will do anything except get on the stage. Or I will do anything except for do social media. Or I'll do anything except for. Do you have an except for? When I was a health coach, I would be like, okay, I will guarantee that you'll lose 35 pounds in 4 weeks if you give up sugar, coffee, wine, and you drink half your body weight in ounces of water a day. Do you know how many people said no? 100%. It's true. 35 pounds, 4 weeks. I mean, for people that need to lose 35 pounds, that's not a bad deal. Of course, I'm not going to guarantee anything for anybody in that respect, because who's going to give up coffee for 4 weeks? Not me. I never did it. But but I could say to them, like, they just wouldn't do it. No, not worth it. Not worth it. But I'm sure if it was like your kid's life's on the line, would you give up coffee and wine and drink that much water and sugar? Yeah, not even thinking about it. We all did it for 9 months to have kids in the first place. We gave up wine and coffee. We can do anything. Literally, if you said to me right now, Jillian, you have to give up coffee for 9 months, I'd be like, gonna have to think about that. I don't know. No, I wouldn't. I would be like, okay, sure, take all the coffee in the world. But like that would be hard. But when you say, oh, there's a baby as a prize at the end, I'm like, gone, done. See you later, coffee. Right? Like, we are willing to do shit that we normally wouldn't do when the prize is right. So what are your accepts, or what have been in the past? Because now hopefully I've motivated and inspired you to not have any of those anymore. But in the past, what have been the things that you were like, a hell no, I'm not doing that? I know one of you I already know. Drop it in the comments. Let me see. Oh, you have been commenting and I've been ignoring. 1 second. Yes. Lots of yeses and hearts. Thank you very much, Shannon. So yes, let me know if there are any I'm not willing to do it for guaranteed results. Then put it in there and we will tackle them together. I promise I won't hang you out to dry completely. But let me know in the comments for sure. So your homework tonight, more journaling, and yeah, it's very worthwhile journaling. So what's keeping you stuck? What would you be able to do if you were unstuck, if you were unleashed, if you had no boundaries, no limitations, no self-limiting beliefs, nothing? What would you be able to do and accomplish? And then if I could make all of those things a guarantee, if I could wave a wand and give you all those things that you said that you would do if you had no limitations, then if I could give them all to you and give you that big goal that you want to have, what would you be willing to do? What big, scary things would you be willing to overcome and do to have it? Is there anything that you wouldn't do that would still be a hell no? Give it some thought. Write it out. Get it out of your brain, through your hand, onto paper. If I've inspired you to do a live, because that's big and brave, feel free to do a live and tell us all about all of this. In this group, there's like 5 or 6 of us in this group, I think. Potentially as high as 13, but I don't see people chiming in and jumping in the group. So yeah, if you are super excited and you want to do a live and you want to do it in a really safe and supportive environment and you've never done a live before, then by all means, you can do your homework as live posts in this group. I'll check the settings just to make sure that that's true, but I'm pretty sure it is. This group is your group, so feel free. Or you can just post a video as a comment or whatever you want. Okay, folks, any questions? Oh, now the comments are coming in. 1 minute, well, let me backtrack. Yeah, Anna, speaking in front of a group and social media. hmm Shannon, so your big thing is paying for rent in like a storefront plus commission. Maybe I'm backtracking and yeah, you've avoided that. Yeah, okay, that's cool. So, and Instagram is a barrier. And Shannon, you've avoided lives. Are you willing to take my challenge? Are you willing to accept my challenge? So here's the thing about the storefront. I told you that I'd help you get over your hell no's. Um, it's a version of investing in yourself and backing yourself up. Yeah, you believe in yourself enough that you will invest in your sales platform, which is what a storefront is. Even if it's not your storefront, it's you're paying somebody to sell your stuff for you. That's commerce. That's how you sell stuff. You can just sell it all online, but you still have to invest in that as well. What it probably tells me is that you're not charging enough for your stuff. So to make it comfortable for you to invest in paying someone commission to sell it. So probably working on your price points during the Bliss program will eliminate that obstacle altogether. And doing lives, that's just you not believing in yourself, not investing or backing yourself up and what you believe in, and backing up the fact that you believe in your talent and that you're worth following, that you're worth, that you've got messages to share, that your process is a worthwhile one for people to follow. So as soon as you tell yourself that you believe in yourself by doing the scary thing that puts yourself out there, and then you're the guy that's right there giving yourself a high five and a pat on the back, like that tells your brain so much it completely rewires you. Like you're gonna do it, it's gonna be scary, you're gonna do it, and then you're still gonna be alive at the end. Like you didn't die. You probably had fun and you learned something and you felt really good about yourself because you tried something. Amazing. That rewires your brain. Now your brain is going to be like, oh, that felt so good to be that proud of myself and to overcome that fear. I'm going to do that again. What else can we go live about? It happens because every time you overcome a fear and you do something great, your brain fires up and you're like, wow, that was scary and awesome at the same time. It's like the end of a roller coaster. Right? You come back in, it grinds to a halt, and you're like, oh, let's go again. Unless you're my son and you're still horrified. He might have been a little too old. Or young still. Anyway. Boy. Yeah, so any of the scary things are really and any point of resistance that you feel going forward, especially if you are in alignment with what you feel your soul is called to do, and the impact and the gift that you feel called to share with the world. If you're in alignment with that, even if the world is like your small world in your community right outside your door, it's fine. The gift that you are called to share with the universe, if you're in alignment with that and with the spirit of what that means to you, then any scary thing that you encounter on that path is just, consider it just your body's way of saying, oh, that's new. We haven't done that before. And that's the entire purpose of all this. You are trying to become somebody that you aren't currently so that you can become the person you need to be so you can live the life that you're meant to have. And so you can share the gift that you're called to share. Make you some sense? Oh, thanks for the hearts. I love them so. Make me feel so good. Okay, I think 40 minutes. I think that's enough ranting at you for the day. So you've got some time. Hopefully you've allotted an hour for the lives, or for the daily devotion or daily sessions, whatever you want to call them. So spend some time here going through, somebody's yelling at me, going through the exercises. What's kept you stuck? What would you do if you were unstuck? And what would you be willing to do if I could guarantee all of the things? You can have it all What are you willing to crash through? And consider yourself challenged to go live in the group or post anything in the group. If posting on social media is scary, then feel free to take the reins and post something that you feel called to post in the group. Okay, bye guys.